a woman my age can make a man come in a minute because we just know what to do. We know how to touch you. We know how to please you. We know how to, we're going to get up. We're going to get the warm rag for you. We're going to make sure you clean. We're going to make you breakfast. Like, that comes with an older woman. A young woman, not to say that there's not young women that will do that, but for the most part, it's going to be an older woman that's why the young boys like us so much.
1 minute and clean, they said. Jesus.
You know what I mean?
So the warm towel is a very, very good
we're
gesture.
gonna give you the warm towel. We're gonna make you some French toast in the morning, some scrambled eggs. We're gonna get you, we're gonna get you back right. You know what I mean? And we're also just more confident in our bodies.
What she said there is really nasty work, right? Because Amber Rose has been in the industry for a couple decades now, I believe. Yeah, a decade and a half. And out of everything she's done, what I'm pretty sure most people know about her is uh her slut walk that she did, where she really made it known to the world that she's a 304 and she don't care about what men or women think about her and her promiscuous lifestyle, right? She done music and some other things. She also did OF, and it's like she got a lot of flack for choosing to do OF because she's got a son, and yeah, he was apparently getting bullied for that. And this type of behavior, these are the key attributes why women this age reach where they're at, talking about the things that they're talking about, right? So she's trying to break down why younger men are, attracted to older women. And what do I tell you guys all the time? It's basically only for sex. Excuse me. It's only for sex, you know, TikTok language. But that's the whole situation. Younger men are not courting older women. Younger men are not typically interested in older women. Breaking news, newsflash. This is not new. What is there for older man to be? I mean, excuse me, a younger man to be interested in a woman like Amber Rose, right? For instance, Uzi Vert or somebody like that, right? NLE Chopper. What interest would they have with Amber Rose on any level of relationship, long term? That type of commitment. I mean, typically these men are the type of men that really get into those committed situations anyway. So that's a whole nother ball game. But this is the thing. She got kid with Wiz Khalifa, right? And she was with Puffy at one point in time. And none of these relationships have been fruitful for her to take her off the market per se, right? So she's just really she's just really a known actual 304. That's literally what she's doing. So she's at this right age now where she has actually hit the wall. And I'm gonna look her age up. I believe she's like coming up to 50. Give me a sec. Amber Rose. Yeah, well, she's 41 years old, right? So she's still relatively young, right? But she's 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 basically hit the wall, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looks good for her age, right? A lot of people these days actually do look good for their age. So being that she's been in the celebrity world, and she's been able to maintain somewhat of a prosperous life. She obviously takes care of herself to some great degree, right? You know, going gym, probably eating right and whatnot. But she's hit the wall. That's the truth, because hitting the wall is not just based on how you look, ladies and gentlemen. Hitting the wall is a lot to do with your SMV, as Kevin Samuels, RIP the late legends, used to say. SMV is your sexual market value. And a lot of women don't like that. They don't like to be rated. They don't like to be told their value. They don't particularly like that. But this is the way it is. The market tells you what you're worth. And what is the market? It's not just based on sex, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand that when you say sexual value, sexual market value, it's the attribute of a man's actual attraction to you, right? Which attraction for I would probably say a great portion is it is sexual, right? And for a lot of men, it's even more sexual, right? There are some men that, you know, attribute attraction to other things more than sex. And those are the type of men, right, that will tend to see you as a wife, right? So when it comes to the likes of Amber Rose at 41 years old with children, with the history that she's had and she has currently, then her SMV is she could have a million BBLs. She could have a perfect natural body that's stunning. It wouldn't matter at that age, with her reputation and the baggage that she's carrying. Her SMV naturally is going to drop. It drops with age. How does it drop with age? Because physically, you won't look the same typically. So, generally speaking, you're not going to look the same as you was when you were a teenager or in your 20s or even in your 30s. So, when you get to 40, you tend to look aged, right? So, there's the physical appearance, which is part of the SMV. Then there's your actual track record. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been, you know, getting your cheeks clapped and it's public record, like, you got to understand your S&V is just dropped like considerably, quite high, because men don't want a woman who has been out there sleeping with everybody and known to be sleeping with everybody to be their wife, to be the mother of their children. You know what I'm saying? To bring home to mom and pops. It don't really work like that. Men aren't typically attracted to those type of women for that type of relationship commitment. Men don't really commit to women like that. Sorry guys, for the most part, those women aren't winning, right? And we see it everywhere. I don't know how people get mistaken, but look at the likes of Taraji P. Look at the likes of Vivica A. Fox. That other chick from the Players Club. Look at Lisa Ray. So these are people, and there's many more out there that are just not up to market value for the place that they're in, right? And they're still on the market. So that value is decreased, right? So SMV it has to do with a lot of things. It has to do with your record, you know what I'm saying? It has to do with how you look, and if you got baggage or not as well. So these are things that tend to become more apparent the older a woman gets, right? So a woman like, and dare I call her woman, but a person like Amber Rose, her and even Carmelo Anthony's ex-wife Lala, they're the type of people that will really only be able to attract younger men, because older men, they're not attracting older men at the same rate anymore. So when they was in their 20s, they hit the club and 50 guys want to holler at them. You know what I'm saying? 50 guys trying to take them home, you know what I'm saying? Buying them drinks, all in the club and all of that. They're now, if they hit the club, probably like 5 of those guys, lucky if one of them, will actually have that same type of energy for them. So the rate has decreased over that time. So for Amber Rose and these types, younger men now will approach them with that same type of energy because younger men are not as typically established as older men. Older men become more established, become more astute in whatever they're at, in whatever career path they are at in life, and therefore have more of a status. Sort of a lot like Vivica A. Fox and 50 Cent. When they first were together, Vivica A. Fox kind of looked down her nose at 50 because she felt like 50 weren't really a somebody, you know what I'm saying? But then 50 upped this game, they broke up, you know what I'm saying? And then now she's sad, wishing that it never happened, wishing she could get back with 50, but that boat has sailed. So this is where a lot of these females are at. And the younger men that don't have that status, they they typically get a bit of status out of being with someone like Amber Rose or older women in general. It like even when what I'm saying, when I was younger, a teenager and stuff like that, like there were cats that were smashing older women, and it made it seem like that those guys had more of an edge, more of an angle to be able to get the attraction of older women, right? So some things change, some things never change, and this thing is one of them. Men that are younger are going to get a bit of status, a bit of recognition. They're going to get a bit of cool points. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get a bit of clout. They're going to get these things that are going to make them more experienced. And women love experience. And this is the thing. So she in her big age, all she's actually got to offer is still sex after all these years. You know what I'm saying? It's really pathetic. It's wild as fuck if you ask me, because you really, it shows that you've actually fully hit a wall. You're not developing into anything. You're not evolving into anyone better. You're not. You're certainly not getting married. You're not creating a family. You're not thriving. That's getting money for a woman is doesn't mean she's thriving. Like men and women are different. It doesn't matter how much money a woman gets, because the more money a woman gets, the truth is the harder it is for her to find a partner, find a man that she could unite with in marriage, right? And holy matrimony, right? Because the truth is, men that are making money that she's making aren't gonna find her typically attractive. They're gonna they're gonna like women who typically make less money, because women who make less money, they tend to be more feminine. They tend to be more soft spoken. They tend to not be so masculine. They tend to not be so combative and argumentative, and don't come with preconceived notions or baggage and all these things that make the relationship strained. Men like to lead. You know what I'm saying? Those women, they don't like to be led. You know what I'm saying? So you would typically see like men with lots of money be with women that really ain't got a whole lot. Like, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And those are the women that tend to get married, but never mind you know what I'm saying? And a woman like Amber Rose, she's just fully hit the wall because she's in her 40s now, and older that she gets is the less people, less like men in general are actually going to be interested, the less that she's going to even sexually appeal to even younger men. So younger men will smash, they will smash. And she's talking about like how her experiences make her so much better. Like, you failed. That's the truth. Like Amber Rose, you have fully failed because your greatest attribute is that you can make a man come in 1 minute. And he's not really a man to you because she would never take a younger man serious. That's the funny thing for this situation as well. Is like y'all have to understand when women make this type of lifestyle for themselves, right? When they become like independent, like Amber Rose, and you know what I'm saying, even Lala Anthony, Taraji P, and Lisa Ray, and Vivica A, like all these females, they go out there and make their way in life, and kudos to them, right? You know what I'm saying? Because hey, they're successful in one way, right? But the truth is, they want a man, right, that can meet them at that level, right? So the men that can meet them at their level, those are the men they want. Those men don't want these women. So she's Amber Rose here is talking about younger women, younger men, excuse me, because that's all she can get attracted to her. That is somewhat worthy of even talking about because she can't talk about older men. So the younger men, they don't typically have the same level of status and success. And this is why these old women never settle down with these younger cats. Because what they typically want is an older man, a man who has experience and has the capacity for leadership and teaching. Teach. See, we as men need to understand this. And those of you that are listening to me, you need to understand this. You have to be a leader as a man. Whatever you do, you have to conquer and you have to lead. I'm not telling you to conquer women. A lot of people will say this stupid shit, but you don't conquer women, right? You know, if you're talking sexually and all that stuff, you know, y'all need to like get a grip on y'all like sexuality. Yeah, because it's leaking into your mentality in the way you navigate the world. Life is not about sex. Okay. When I say conquer, you need to have dominion in what you're doing. Yeah. Because that is what puts people in their place. And that's what sets your place for however way you choose to live. So we got to be able to lead, right? That's what masculinity is. Masculinity takes lead. So yeah, Amber Rose has hit the wall, y'all. And I thought this was an interesting video because it really goes to show that with all the money, with all this fame, with all the experience, because she certainly got a lot of that. I mean, 1 minute, sheesh. And she's still alone. Kevin Samuels was right. Well, thank you for watching. Please make sure you click the like, drop me a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this one. And yeah, catch you in the next one.